Everybody, it's Joric. Welcome back. I hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. Today I am making a Portugal video. I've tried to shy away from making those, but in the last 6 to 8 weeks, several people who are starting residency in Portugal back in their home country or have landed and they're still trying to get things figured out here wanted me to address it and make a video for people. So if you're looking to move to Portugal, food for thought. If you're in the immigration process right now, it's sort of grisly. It's doom and gloom. It's not looking great for people that are trying to get into the country. So let's get into it so that you have an understanding of what's going on. So, as many of you might be aware, CEF, which was the governing body that took care of immigration matters for those of us coming to Portugal, transitioned into AIMA, A-I-M-A. And in doing so, nothing really changed other than the name of the agency. Some of the same employees are around, they have some different staff, but they don't have more staff, and that's a key because in speaking to government officials and actually going to an AIMA office and asking, they don't have any new tools to help with what's going on in the immigration situation. And in short, Portugal is still wildly popular as a place to come to for a very multitude of reasons. And because of that, they just don't have enough capacity or resources to handle everyone that's coming in on different types of visas. So the CEF moving over to AIMA, something that was not the AIMA's fault, the new agencies, they inherited several 100,000 pending files, appointments, things that were not done, meaning the original visa was approved, but the reunification for the family had not been done. Even people post-Brexit now, we've gone a few years now, where there's still some Brits out there that some of the pieces that they were grandfathered into still picking up and trying to resolve and come to some solutions and resolutions on issues that they're dealing with. So there's a multitude of issues that happened with CEF. It was highly inefficient, not well run or managed at all. And then this new agency is the same as the old agency, just with a new name on it. So they're behind the eight ball with all of these pending cases that they have to figure out. And as you can see here, they're now getting over 50 complaints a month, or excuse me, a day. And my guess is it's probably more than that, I'm willing to bet, from people having a multitude of issues, trying to get appointments from their home country. In many countries, when you have your appointment at the Portuguese consulate or embassy, however that process works, that works differently in different countries. Often when you get that approval in your home country to come, there will be an appointment set. Well, in not all countries and not all cases. And there are many times where people have come from various countries here and they had an appointment set in their home country. They come here and the appointment was canceled, moved, something happened. And that's where the problem has been for years. When we moved in 2019, we were fortunate to be able to have an employer help expedite, and we had an attorney work with us to try to make sure and stay on the Portuguese government and CEF at the time to make sure we were getting our appointment, our reunification appointment, etc. But now with so many people trying to get into the system and hundreds of thousands of people still waiting out there, they're at a crisis point, I think. So as much as Portugal is still popular for people to come to, many people want to retire here, many people want to economically try to get a job or get out of the situation they're in. There are many people, so for example, tens of thousands of Ukrainians and Russians of the last couple of years, based upon what's happening in that part of the world, have migrated here looking for work and looking to get out of the situation that they're in. So for, again, many reasons people are coming. But Portugal does not have an adequate way of handling it. It's ridiculous at best. there are no videos that you're going to find out there about how fantastic and awesome experience the immigration process was getting into Portugal. To be fair to Portugal, you may not find favorable or positive immigration videos for any country out there as far as the process. Yes, some of you I know have commented in past years about how easy the process was to get into Portugal. For most of you and most of us, those of you watching, and we can speak to our own experience, it was painful even with an employer helping out and an attorney helping out, more painful than it needed to be and more frustrating. So more people are in this queue or endless queues trying to get an email response impossible. It's no different than the CEF with this EMA. Getting someone on the phone, trying to actually have someone answer the phone, it's just not going to happen. So what I would highly recommend is that you contact an attorney if you haven't already done so, and have an immigration attorney here work on your behalf to try to make sure that you are getting represented, and they're working on your behalf to make sure your appointment goes as accordingly as it should. Anything with reunification or other types of visas, all of the deliverables happen so that you have your appointment, and within a certain period of time, let's say a few weeks to a month, you get your residency card and away you go. There are just so many people from so many countries that are complaining about the lack of customer service and the lack of any communication whatsoever from this agency. And I don't have any solutions. The people that messaged me wanted me to help, and they said, I've gone to these appointments for some people. I've talked to people from Angola specifically because they're close to where we live. So I see them on a weekly basis. I go by the embassy, and it's just a lot of frustration where you have all these people from different walks of life and countries looking to come here to start over, do something different, get a new life, change up where they're from. And this is not necessarily a great first impression that they get when they're dealing with Portugal. So it does beg the question, and that's why I wanted to make the video of, are you committed to Portugal, and are you worth going through all the hurdles and obstacles, or are there other places that you may be interested in? Because immigration is difficult across the board in many countries. But sometimes you may get the impression that Portugal doesn't want you, because the first impression you get here, which is often the immigration impression, because that's the first set of documents and things that you need to do to get into the country, is not favorable. It's rare that someone has an experience that's really good, where they're saying, yeah, no problems, we got in, no issues, it was perfect. Oftentimes there are hurdles along the way that you do need legal representation for, or I would highly recommend that you get some legal representation, just to make sure that as those of you that are committed to Portugal and want to be here, that you realize that there's a heck of a bureaucratic hill that you have to go over just to get to the residency part, which is the first step. It's a major step, but it's the first step to be able to get into Portugal. So I wanted to get you that update that things are not looking good with the immigration agency. If you're looking to move to Portugal and you're seeing this video and you're thinking, well, you know, I'll move later this year, based upon the timing of this video, you may not be, based upon how soon you can get into your home country's embassy, Portuguese embassy there, and what's going on with scheduling appointments here. That may not happen. So if you're interested and committed to going or coming here, make the appointment, get things going in your home country, contact an attorney here ASAP to make sure that they can help you as much as they can, so that the ride will be as less bumpy as it could be. As always, thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your travels.